Sunshine elsewhere. Still hot in the southwest, cooler elsewhere.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more.
Whether it's breaking royal news,
Please bring us up to date.
or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons,
Very, very curious.
we bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good evening, everybody. Hello. How are you? Yes, you get a high five. You get a high five. You definitely get a high five. All right, everyone at the back. How are we? Well, what a night for it, hey? This is a historic evening. It's 9 p.m. Hello and welcome to our wonderful live studio audience. Here's what's on the box tonight. So, we've got the historic moment when there it is, look at that. When two of the world's most powerful men met less than an hour ago. The big handshake there. President Trump, President Putin, and right this second, they are, well, about to be anyway, locked into a room. But how will it go?
I want the killing to stop. I'm in this to stop the killing. You know, we're not putting up any money. We're making money. They're buying our weapons, and we're sending them to NATO, and NATO's sending us big, beautiful checks.
Whatever the outcome, we will bring it to you live here on GB News. And just as a little heads up as well, my production team are keeping their beady little eyes on a screen out there because there's a podium that's emerged, 2 seats next to it, and we might be seeing some kind of joint press conference or something like that between Putin and President Trump. So we'll have to wait and see. But in other news...
They are disgusting, nasty bastards, and we need to cut their throats and get rid of them all.
Yeah, not guilty. So, suspended Labour councillor Ricky Jones walks free while Lucy Connolly languishes in jail. And...
My argument NHS. We've got the NHS in here.
Yeah.
Brilliant. NHS in there.
Look, it's a big exclusive that I've got for you here. Illegal migrants getting priority GP appointments, plus we honour our war heroes on victory over Japan Day. But as we saw, Pakistan Independence Day celebrations throughout the country yesterday, and in Birmingham they even lit the library. They can't take your bins out in Birmingham, but they can light a library up in the colours of the Pakistani flag, apparently. I'm going to ask you, when you see the general conditions in Britain at the moment, was their sacrifice all worth it? Also... Well, I don't know if we have any fluent Pashtun speakers in, but if you were able to speak Pashtun, you would have heard there an illegal Afghan migrant instructing people how to kill their wives. And he's currently living rent-free in a migrant hotel, so we'll have to see if we can deport that one. Plus,
for people to recognise that it's not right, it's not just a small act, it's a thing that can make someone feel really quite uncomfortable.
Has anyone here ever been catcalled in the street? No? No one's been catcalled? Has anyone catcalled anyone? No bloke's going to admit that, are they? No one's going to go, yeah, on the way here, actually, I wound the window down, I didn't know. But what I want to know is, should it be an outright criminal offence? Plus... Well, it was A-level results day yesterday, wasn't it? But we're taking a little look at Mickey Mouse degrees and asking whether or not it's worth going to university. Well, on my panel tonight, a couple of new faces. We've got the editor-at-large at the Mail on Sunday, the wonderful Charlotte Griffiths, everybody. We've got broadcasting royalty, Christo Fufas. Oh, he loves it. He loves it. Former Conservative MP, Jane Stevenson. And making his debut on the live studio audience show, everybody's favourite comedian, Steve and Alan. There we go. All right. Well, get ready, Britain. Here we go. Obviously, we'll bring you the absolute latest when it comes to President Trump and President Putin's historic meeting. We'll bring it to you live. But I've got a big exclusive on illegals getting better NHS care than you. Next.
Patrick, thank you. The top stories. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin have landed in Alaska for their highly anticipated meeting to discuss the war in Ukraine. The leaders, originally expected to meet one-on-one, will be joined by senior US and Russian officials. The Kremlin has said earlier today that they expect those talks between Donald Trump and President Putin could last a minimum of 6 to 7 hours. Well, Mr. Trump and Putin shook hands on the tarmac upon landing as the pair walked side by side to their convoys. London stands with Ukraine, David Lammy has said, ahead of that summit, and we'll bring you the latest just as soon as we get it. Elsewhere, a woman has been remanded in custody after being charged with assaulting a security guard at a hotel housing migrants. The court heard how 22-year-old Sinead Augustus was part of a group of around 20 people who tried to barge into the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf on Wednesday evening. The incident took place after a resident of the hotel allegedly walked into her mother's flat. The court heard how Miss Augustus returned to the hotel with a meat cleaver after the confrontation. The migrant, who's in his early 20s, has also been arrested on suspicion of assault. Now, the King and Queen joined World War II veterans at a memorial service on the 80th anniversary of VJ Day. King Charles and Queen Camilla, along with the Prime Minister, laid wreaths at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire to pay their respects to those who served in the Far East and the Pacific during the conflict. The King and Queen led a 2-minute silence before a rendition of The Last Post. Veterans of the conflict, aged 96 to 105, joined the royal family at the site as guests of honour. VJ Day is marked each year on the 15th of August, the date in 1945 when Japan surrendered to the Allied forces and World War II ended. Earlier, King Charles paid tribute to those who fought and died, saying they will never be forgotten. A suspended Labour councillor who called for protesters' throats to be cut at a rally has been found not guilty of encouraging violent disorder. Ricky Jones faced trial after he described demonstrators as disgusting Nazi fascists at an anti-racism protest in East London last August following the Southport murders. Mr Jones, a borough councillor in Dartford in Kent since 2019, he was warned by the Labour Party back then to stay away from the protest, and he was suspended a day after that incident. And finally, social media influencers will be used to highlight the risks of travelling abroad for cosmetic surgery. The government is to work with TikTok to warn people about the dangers of travelling elsewhere for treatments such as hair transplants or dental work. Users who access content related to such procedures will be shown videos discussing all of the potential risks. Patients will be urged to speak to a UK doctor first. They'll also be urged to avoid package holidays that include those potential procedures. And those are the latest GB News headlines. For now, more from me in an hour.
Tune into GB News Radio wherever you are, online, on DAB digital radio, on TuneIn, on Radio Player and on your smart speaker. Just say, play GB News.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you very, very much to start with to all of the wonderful people who made the journey to come here for this live studio audience show. And we start with this historic meeting between President Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. They're holding talks right now in Alaska about the future of Ukraine, arguably Europe as well. The pair, they flew to Anchorage earlier today. That's the moment, isn't it, there, I think? That is the moment, that historic handshake on the red carpet. We've got a clip to play a little bit later on as well. As he did that, what you might have missed is that Trump flew the B-2 bomber over his head. So Putin looks up in a second and there's this massive bomber over him there. He's thinking, I'm not sure Russia have that, do they? So quite interesting little optics there, I think, really, weren't there? But anyway, yes, so they are also going to be doing a lot of conversations, clearly, about everything. In fact, there we go. This is live, I believe, now in Anchorage. It is. So we've got two podiums here that we're looking at. We've got the Russian flag and the US flag. And that would imply to me that at some point this evening, we are going to get both presidents standing there and doing some kind of press conference. We'll take that live. Slight word of caution on this, of course, which is that we've been told that the negotiations might take 6 hours. So I don't know how long you've got, but maybe we'll return to it this time next week. There is also quite an interesting development. It's a Labour Party attack line, and it was on Nigel Farage. And so the Defence Secretary, John Healey, who has been absent, of course, from all of the big boys talking, so he had to come on and pipe up at it this morning. He said something quite interesting about Nigel Farage earlier on. I think we can play it to you now.
Some of the statements that Nigel Farage has said in the past have sought to explain what Putin does, has sought to explain what Russia does. This is the moment, above all, when Putin is talking to Trump in Alaska, when the pressure must be on Putin to demonstrate that he is serious about peace, to scale back, not escalate, as he has been, the attacks on Ukraine. And we really require all political voices, including from Reform and Nigel Farage, to weigh in as strong as possible, condemning Putin, condemning the invasion in Ukraine, and we have not had that.
There you go. So that was him on GB News earlier today. In a separate interview, he said, again, that Nigel Farage was a Putin apologist. So they're still using that attack line on Reform. Like I said, we'll bring it all to you live. Huge developments there. Will we get any outcome? Will President Trump storm out after 20 minutes? We'll take it there. Right, but carrying on with the show as planned. It's a big exclusive for you, this. I can exclusively reveal that illegal migrants appear to be being given priority health care while Brits struggle to get a GP appointment or spend years on an NHS waiting list. A document that was sent to this very show reveals that GPs can charge about 151 quid per illegal migrant, which covers them for a year. But apparently, payments for providing health care for a patient with, say, level 1 diabetes care, which includes regular blood screenings and medication reviews, and all of that, etc., are a lot less. So it's £49 per patient. I'm just going to read you down this list here, right? So they must provide a mandatory 30-minute health assessment to people living in migrant hotels. I mean, I don't know how long your GP appointment normally lasts, but I think it's a little bit less than 30 minutes, isn't it? They must provide both same-day and routine care to patients registered at these hotels. So same-day and then ongoing care. Then GPs will travel to the migrant hotels to deliver their appointments. Again, I dare say that for most people in this room right now, you obviously have to go to your GP surgery to get that. And then the illegal migrants are registered at the practice within 5 days of arriving at that hotel. And the assumption there is, if these people are moved around the country, that will be the same potentially wherever they go, right? So you get guaranteed access to a GP immediately, plus being registered at a GP surgery within 5 days. Also, they get one session every week from hotels containing more than 100 people. So I don't know, again, how regularly you see your GP if you wanted to, but it would appear that there are lots of follow-up appointments. So every single week, they can get another session. They get free prescriptions as well, and there is no need for them to provide proof of identification or any proof of address at all at their GP. So there you go. That is the rundown. So if you were a money-obsessed GP, which not all of them are, but if you were, who would you prioritise? Would you prioritise the £150 a pop illegal migrants, or someone for an appointment that you might get 49 quid if you were dealing with someone with diabetes? I suspect it will be the first one. Staff are also expected to undergo additional training to ensure that they are, quote, supportive and understanding to these asylum seekers. So who's paying for that training? We have to give them extra training, do we? But here's the real kicker. Our source told us that referrals to secondary facilities, so that would be really a hospital, are prioritised, meaning that it's possible that not only could a Channel migrant get priority GP care, but they could also go to the top of the NHS waiting list. Then there is a page in this document dedicated singularly to resources for GPs to help them deal with asylum seekers and refugees, or illegal immigrants, as some people might call them. But if you click on some of the links, you'll find some really quite interesting stuff. So this is all the resources that they can access here, and obviously it's all these different files and folders. I thought, oh, I'll see what's in some of this stuff. So I did. And there's a document called Migrants Know Your Rights, which states that everyone in the UK has the right to free care from a GP. But if you don't have proof of ID or address, you can still register, and immigration status or nationality don't matter. And at a GP's reception, they will not ask you for immigration documents, and they won't share your information with the Home Office unless a serious crime is involved. I find that quite astonishing, really. Again, it's another thing that we're told isn't happening, really, I think, isn't it? There's a lot to unpack there. I'm going to be revealing more about what I believe is a two-tier health service that prioritises illegal migrants over Brits in my coming shows. But it does look as though you might have a bit of a better chance of seeing a GP and getting good care if you came to Britain illegally, as opposed to being born here and paying into the system your entire life. So let's get the views of my panel on this to begin with. And I know that there's a lot to unpack there, and you know, this is quite a heavy-duty document. But I don't know, Christo, what was your initial kind of take on that, really? There.
Well, I mean, firstly, thank goodness we're not doing World War III again. At the start of your show. I honestly think that you schedule this show for world events, because this is about the third show that we've had a war being discussed at the start of it.
It is. So one day it'll happen.
Yeah, one day. It's where you're scheduling it that way. This is obviously ridiculous, because I don't know about you, and I don't know about anyone in this audience, but whenever I have to try and get a doctor's appointment, you literally, my mortgage application was easier. You have to sort of ring up between 8:01 and 8:04. You sort of go, the last time I was on hold to my GP, I was queuing to queue. I was on hold to then go on hold, because there was two hold systems, and then by the time you do get through, there are no appointments. You've got to then try again. If you go into your GP and try and get an appointment, you have to wait 3 weeks or something. So, you know, if you're actually dying of a heart attack, you have to schedule that heart attack. So, like, clearly it's absolutely broken. The answer to this, if you are a migrant that needs this care, is, firstly, I don't think that migrants should be prioritised. They should be in the same way as everyone else, having to, you know, queue up. But secondly, if you don't need to show any ID or any of those sorts of things, well, I've said it before and I'll say it again, you should need to show your national insurance card whenever you go and get any kind of medical treatment, unless you are run over. Then you get a pass, but otherwise you should.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Jane, this is, I think, a little bit ridiculous. And if I was a GP... Oh, well,
better late than never.
The concern for me, I don't know about other people on this, would be that if a GP was given a straight choice between being able to go to a migrant hotel and charge 150 quid a pop per person there, or maybe find another way of attending to someone in this room that might only get them 50 quid, which one are they going to choose?
Yeah, it is really concerning. I think in my local GP practice, which I visit as rarely as possible, there's often loads of elderly people. I don't think they'd particularly like 5 or 6 asylum seekers rocking in. So I've got no issue with GPs travelling to a hotel in some ways, but certainly they shouldn't be prioritised. We heard last week they were getting, what, 280 quid for glasses and things. There's a lot of unfairness, and I think certainly they shouldn't be jumping the queue. And I also wonder, many of them aren't speaking English, so do GPs access translators who are going to...
for a translator as well.
So it's another cost and another expense. Hopefully the fact most of them are young men means they're fairly healthy.
But I just don't think this gets spoken about enough, though, really, because, you know, it's all very well and good, you know, having the burden of just the number of people, and then you've got to locate them somewhere and put them somewhere and deal with all of that. But it is also a massive burden on our health service.
Do you not think your source of anger isn't the way that the migrants are being treated? The source of anger should be the way that everyone else is treated. The list of things that they expect or that should be promised to migrants actually didn't seem that much. It was like being an honorary Scottish person. You get free prescriptions. Other than that, we should all be getting the same. And we're not. That's where the anger should be. The fact that I've never seen my doctor, I've had 2 phone calls with him or someone doing a voice. It's very difficult to tell, isn't it? I've technically got a closer relationship with the people on Babe Station than I have my doctor. They've all seen pictures of my rash, and we've had more phone calls with them. But it's not the system that you should have. The anger should be with how bad the NHS is providing for us, rather than, oh, someone's getting to the front of the queue. We should also be at the front. We should get
that's you know, I take it that you're very, very well intentioned, and I've seen that rash, by the way, as well.
Thank you.
What's going on tonight?
But the reason that no one can be at the front of the queue is because of the sheer numbers of people. So we can't keep increasing infrastructure to try and catch up with the number of people, because it's not practical.
No, do you think, Charlotte, it's that sense of unfairness? There's obviously a bit of a powder keg environment in Britain at the moment. We're seeing protests pretty much every night now. And if you then kind of add to that the idea that there's a bit of a 2-tier health system as well, I think it's not going to help matters, is it?
This is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, because we can put up with so much, but if you come between us and the NHS and access to our services, I mean, this is going to be it. And it's also a real incentive. As if there wasn't enough incentives to be a migrant to come over on a boat. You've got this further incentive. Now, there's already a tourism, NHS tourism problem in the NHS, where people come over. You know, and one thing I would say is some of the people coming off these boats seem absolutely fine. They seem in really good nick, because, of course, the boats now are incredibly sophisticated, so they're not having a rough journey. They're just walking on, being given a life jacket and coming off absolutely fine. But if I was a migrant, I'd be thinking, oh, I've got a bit of an ailment. I better get myself onto one of those boats, because if I've got diabetes or a long-term health problem, I'll be seen very quickly, very efficiently, and I'll be looked after forevermore.
And it's the ongoing care is the situation as well. You know, I mean, someone doesn't just knock on my door once a week just to see how I'm doing. It's not really what happens.
I've tried.
Yeah, you have, Christys, and that's why we have a restraining order.
That is true. For legal reasons, I'm not allowed to. But can I just say, the only caveat to anything that we say at this table is that I've no problem with children getting priority, because basically there aren't any. So it won't actually have any bearing on our NHS care, because there aren't any.
Oh, but what about pregnant people? Because I've got this real bugbear, and we did a story about this in the Mail on Sunday, and it was massive. It was about a year ago, which is if you come over and you're heavily pregnant and you don't speak English, you get to the front of the maternity services, because they hire in the translators, and then to save money, they don't want a translator on standby all day. So all the pregnant women who need a translator go in for the 1 hour that the translator's there. I was a pregnant woman once, pushed to the back of the queue.
Do you not feel the solution to that should just be, at some point, Google Translate? Like, GPs tend to Google stuff anyway. While you're logged on, use the Translate thing, we could have that sorted.
That happens all the time. I mean, every time I've used the NHS, I've seen someone there with their phone on the counter doing Google Translate.
But again, one thing, we'll wrap up on this, Jane, but one of the things that really gets me is this is another thing that we were kind of told wasn't happening. It's like, oh, no, of course, there's no additional burden on the NHS. Oh, no, there's no question of priority. And in fact, I'm going to read out a statement shortly that, again, they are really saying, there's no question of priority here. But I'm sorry, but I think there really is. You know, if you move somewhere, you're guaranteed a GP's appointment without needing to even say what your name is or where you're from. And if you register at a GP within 5 days, and, you know, there's people at the moment here who are on NHS waiting lists for upwards of a year or 2 years for things. That would not be happening if you just come from Sudan.
I think for many years we have been turning into an international health service, and because we are now multicultural Britain, you get people who've got relatives abroad. They think, well, if my mum can come over, she's getting on a bit, she'll get much better care here. It is a big challenge.
It is, right. So now I have to read out a statement from the government, which is, it is simply untrue to suggest that asylum seekers receive preferential treatment in the NHS. The NHS always prioritises care in order of clinical need. It's vital that all vulnerable members of society, including asylum seekers, are able to access the healthcare they need. It has been a legal requirement under successive governments for local NHS commissioners to take the right steps to enable this. And then we went to NHS North West London, which is the body where we got this document, which I've got here in front of me now. We got this document from, thank you to the person who sent that in to us, of course. They say that planned healthcare checks cost substantially less than A&E attendances, support important vaccination and immunisation checks, and keep emergency departments free for patients who need emergency care. We are required to provide GP care for everyone in North West London, including those in home office accommodation. But the thing is, now that we've got this information, what we can start asking is how much is all of this costing? And that is what we're going to ask, and I think there might be a big revelation there as well. Loads more coming your way, including a bit of this. It was A-level results day yesterday, wasn't it? So I'm going to be listing some of the most outrageous Mickey Mouse degrees, and these cost people loads and loads of money. So go on, can I just get just a quick show of hands? Who in this room went to university? There you go. OK, and then who didn't? Who didn't? There you go. All right. Just as a way, does anyone who didn't go to university regret it? Would you like to have gone? No, fair enough. There you go. Save yourselves thousands of pounds. Don't go through clearing. Anyway, I am not a life coach. And of course, we'll bring you the latest from Alaska, where President Trump's historic meeting with Vladimir Putin is going on right now. That's the moment Trump walked down the steps. Yeah, we'll bring it all your way very shortly. Stay tuned.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record, you say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point.
Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Wake up with a familiar face. She's back on breakfast television. Penny Smith returns.
Miss me? Well, I'm here, and I brought the coffee.
And we're reuniting to brighten your morning.
It's just like old times, only better.
So join Penny and me next Monday and Tuesday only on GB News Breakfast.
At GB News, we are proud to stand for you, for the Britain you love, for the communities you live in. That's what makes us the fearless champions of Britain. Its voices and its values. Because we, at GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more.
Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you to my live studio audience. We're going to be revealing who's the furthest travelled very, very shortly, so there we are. But, obviously, President Trump and Vladimir Putin are meeting right now. That was the scenes where they did the handshake. Does anyone in this room think that we should ever put British boots on the ground in Ukraine? No. Is that the general vibe? No to British. Well, we can return to that a little bit later on. Like I said, we'll be giving you updates on that throughout the show. In fact, we'll go on some live shots now. It's just a podium, but there you are. That's it. That's where at some point they are going to be coming on and talking, if it goes well. Be interesting to see how Putin deals with some of the questions, though, because obviously the vast majority of the media there are Americans, and by some of the things that they were shouting at him earlier on, it seems as though they are incredibly hostile to Putin, which will be a day off for Trump, won't it, I suppose? So there we are. But we'll bring that to you as we get it. But thousands of A-level students picked up their A-level results yesterday. A record number have been accepted into university. But is higher education really the right choice for young people, especially when new official stats show more than 630,000 graduates are now on benefits, believe it or not? This is not helped by universities churning out Mickey Mouse degrees. So these are degrees that basically mean that well, it's pointless. You've wasted your money. In fact, it's our money, isn't it? Because we give you the student loan as taxpayers, and you can get charged more than $9 grand a year to do that. You've got golf management, learning tournament operations and club administration, surf science and technology at Plymouth. If you're going to do it in Hawaii, you know, but there we are. You can also spend 3 years doing aromatherapy. Now, I'm not knocking anyone who does work in aromatherapy, but did it take you 3 years at university to learn how to apply essential oils? I'm not really sure. And whilst at uni, we got any Harry Potter fans in? Yeah, right. OK, well, you can do a module of that. I think it was at Durham. You learn more about Robin Hood, paranormal activity. And if you skip university, well, good luck, because Labour's obsession with sending more than half of kids into higher education means that you need a degree to do everything now. Right, OK. So, there's a lady on the front row here. Hello, thank you very much for coming. What would you like to say about, are we kind of, what's your views on the A-levels, the universities? Do you need to go to university, all that stuff? Go on.
I don't think you do need to go to university at all. I think all it's doing is getting you in tens of £1,000s worth of debt and keeping you the downtrodden you. That's all it does. It just keeps you downtrodden because you're paying the debt off for the rest of your life. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a good point. I mean, if you do come out of university with £40,000 worth of debt, interest, etc., how are you going to pay that back? I think we should probably just go around here and ask what degrees everyone did. So what did you do?
This is where I look sexy. I did chemistry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
A proper one. Bachelor of Science, not this arts, which I'm guessing everyone else is. Let's find out.
Gosh, and how often do you use that degree?
Well, I don't make many bombs now, but it's nice to know that I can. That's the thing.
That's good. Go on, Jane.
Well, my mother thought I was going off to study politics and economics, and I got offered a scholarship to the Guildhall School of Music, where I stayed for 6 years, getting a postgraduate in opera studies.
All right, that's cool. Does that mean you can sing us out later?
No, I'm retired.
Oh, OK. Do you go on, Charlotte? What do you do?
You're going to laugh, Patrick.
I won't laugh.
Politics.
Good.
Yay!
I do politics.
That I'm a bit iffy when it comes to politics.
No, you're not. So you're spot on. Go on, Christo.
What?
You got a degree?
Yeah, I did, actually, yeah. It was...
Just be just a bit quiet, Christo, which is unlike you.
Oh, sorry. It was public relations.
Can I just check? Is that what we think it means, like on the heath?
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually did once. I did hand in my dissertation in such a rush I dropped the L from public.
Oh.
a very different course when I handed that in by accident.
How long were you at university for doing that?
Well, I was there for 3 years, but I didn't go for the first 2 at all. So in my 3rd year, I was asked if I was new by the head of the course. They were like, welcome. I was like, well, I have actually been here for 2 years. It was when I got it for free. It was when sort of degrees were for free. And, you know, I wanted to learn about PR. And I did a bit. And the problem that we've got, though, with university, I think, is that what we've done is, because we were so obsessed with sending people to uni, we've outsourced to, I think, a lot of people that have come to the UK, trades. So, you know, that's why you know, British people were told to go to uni, and then we would be quite used to having sort of, you know, a Lithuanian plumber or, you know, an East European builder or something like that. And great, they come over, some of them all worked really hard, but actually it should have been probably people in the UK that were being taught to do that. Now, can I just give you another couple of degrees I found that are worse than PR?
Go on.
So you meant...
Says the opera study first.
You mentioned Robin Hood studies. You can also do BA in Viking and Old Norse studies.
Awesome.
3 years
I'd like to do that.
And apparently... oh, sorry, I didn't realise. You can do a degree at the University of Plymouth in cruising.
Well, if you know, you know.
Answer that Princess Diana studies. That went on in the neighbouring university to mine when I was at university.
Princess Diana.
Wow.
I would have so done that if I could have.
Certainly was a correspondent. I probably should have done that.
But I just feel like we need more people doing. Why have we kind of slagged people off for wanting to go and get a practical trade? I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of. You just want to come straight out of school and just get an apprenticeship. What's wrong with that?
No, absolutely. I always really pushed apprenticeships. Wolverhampton had the highest youth unemployment rate in the country. If anyone with their mum often came to the surgery, I was trying to push armed forces apprenticeships. All 3 armed forces are some of our biggest apprenticeship providers. You can go off, learn to be a plumber, an electrician, just a whole host of things. You get paid well, your accommodation's cheaper. I would absolutely recommend that route to a lot of people.
It does actually cost the nation a lot of money. I know, like, you know, OK, people should have the opportunity to go to university if they want to, but realistically, if you're taking out a student loan, taxpayers are paying for that, and then if you're not going to get a job at the end of it that ever pays that back, then it's just free money from the state.
We made a mess of just grouping all of these things under the word degree. When they were separate before, look, I'm a bit more hardcore on this. If you're not doing a science, you're doing a hobby. No offence, but you are. Science is a proper job. Yeah, that's a proper job.
Have you got paid to do chemistry since you...
I did for a while. I don't do much chemistry now, but I'll keep my hand in with a glove on it. I think, you know, English literature, you're reading books. That's what people do. But so those degrees should be free. You shouldn't have to take out and get in huge debts to do the jobs that are actually useful for us as a society. But we've grouped them all together now, so the fact that you can get a loan to be a chemist, top job, or a, you know, Mickey Mouse expert, whatever the phrase is, it's an absolute waste. And the reason they aim for 50% of everyone in universities is just to delay the unemployment figures. That was the con, and we're paying for it now.
Hang on. Oh, the cruising degree is about boats.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Sorry, Christo.
Oh, OK, sorry.
Sorry.
There we go. All right. Well, we're gonna whiz ourselves on, and it has been a day to remember the thousands, tens of thousands, of Allied soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice. It is, of course, the 80th anniversary of VJ Day, but I'm going to be asking this evening, when you look at the state of Britain now, do you think that those brave men, and in some cases women, of course, who made the ultimate sacrifice, was it all worth it? Stay tuned.
I hope we haven't forgotten anything.
Travel insurance, I tick that box.
Yeah, but remember what you forgot last year.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Temperatures easing a little bit in Spain and Portugal, but it's still going to be pretty hot for the next few days. Pretty humid in Italy with the threat of a few scattered heavy thundery showers. Dry and sunny in Spain and Portugal. As I said, though, temperatures just dropping a little bit here over the next few days. Could be quite breezy for Sicily and parts of northern Tunisia. A bit of a breeze blowing over the Greek islands as well, but plenty of sunshine likely here. Continued risk of a few showers for Italy and Croatia.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello again and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. We do have a lot of cloud across the eastern parts of the UK. That's going to spread further west during the next 24 hours. Mostly clear, though, to the far west and staying warm, whether you've got the cloud or the clear spells. We've got high pressure sitting to the northwest of the UK, and with the winds coming in around the top of that high and then running down the North Sea across eastern parts of the UK, we're going to see a lot of North Sea low cloud creep westwards overnight after dark, and that low cloud becoming extensive. A few spots of light rain and drizzle for parts of Scotland, northeast England associated with that low cloud. Clear skies to the west and southwest, 16, 17 Celsius overnight, relatively warm, but similar to recent nights, effectively. And then we wake up Saturday with, well, a real divide across the country. Plenty of sunshine for West and South Wales. The southwest of England seeing sunshine as well, although some parts seeing cloud arrive into the south. Extensive cloud across the rest of England and Wales, away from the northwest of England. Northern Ireland, mixed conditions, a lot of sunshine but some patchy cloud. And then this divide across Scotland with extensive low cloud through the central belt, across some of the higher parts of eastern Scotland, sunshine elsewhere. And where we've got the cloud to start things, it's going to take some time to clear. It will want to try and lift and break as the sun warms things up, but I think it will take until early or even mid-afternoon for many places to brighten up. It's going to be a slow process. That will leave temperatures mostly around the mid to high 20s, where we get the sunniest skies towards the southwest. That's where we'll get the highest temperatures. Sunday's a different beast. I think we're going to start off with less low cloud. That means quite quickly from the word go, temperatures will be rising. Plenty of sunshine, but a cooler airflow at the same time. And so as we go through Monday and Tuesday, temperatures will progressively drop away. Still warm where we get some sunshine and still mostly dry.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
All right, welcome back. Thank you very much. And a special shout out to the couple that have come all the way from Ayr in Scotland to be here. Not quite beating the overall record, which is New Zealand, but that will take some doing. So thank you very much for making that effort. We've got, obviously, Trump and Putin. We're just waiting for a bit of news on that, to be honest. They've rocked up, they've shaken hands. Trump and Putin coming on. Both, well, technically, yes, because if they do a press conference, then yeah, they'll be on, won't they?
And you can say, from now on, you've had Trump and Putin on your show.
On my show, exactly. It'll go on the show reel, yes. I think, yeah, they shook hands earlier on. They're locked in talks at the moment, and it might take about 6 hours. So there we go. But let's just do this, because the country has been paying tribute today to the men and women who helped the Allies defeat Japan in the Second World War, often known as like the forgotten kind of war, really. This isn't it for us. But it's the 80th anniversary of VJ Day. GB News was live at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire earlier today. All right, it's thought that more than 70,000 soldiers from Britain and the Commonwealth died fighting Japan in World War II. But when you do look at the state of Britain today, I don't know about you, but sometimes I can't help but wonder what some of our brave veterans would make about it. And I did interview some of them, actually, that are in the hundreds now, aren't they, in the run-up to VE Day. And I was very saddened when a couple of them said they didn't think it was necessarily worth it now when they look around the country today. We do have someone who is in the audience who is a veteran. I thought I might go for you first, sir, if that's all right. Have you got the microphone there? What do you make of it? Do you think it was all worth it? Do you feel like we've let our veterans down?
Patrick, my uncle passed away a few years ago. He served in Singapore at the time of the war. My own belief is that all soldiers are proud of what they achieved and what they learned from being in the army and the comradeship right the way through the system. I think today, when I served under the Queen, who in my opinion was the greatest woman ever to grace this country, without any shadow of a doubt. She never put a foot wrong in the whole of her lifetime. Quite frankly, if she was alive today, Keir Starmer wouldn't be allowed to do what he's doing. She would have had enough about her to stop it, right? This country now, we've just had a conversation before about hospitals and things. We've not taken into account the escalating problems that are going to hit this country. I, in my lifetime, have never known a person in authority. The border control is the most important thing of any country, and he's allowing people unsupervised to come in the country who, mark my words, over the next 12 months, you'll see murders and you'll see all sorts of things happening on our streets. And what I'd like to know is if the man responsible for it at that point is, one, going to hold his hands up and say, I've made another mistake, it wasn't a black hole, or whether he's going to do something about it. We're proud of what we did, but no, we're not happy today. It's a disgrace.
OK, all right, good point, sir. And also, thank you, obviously, for everything that you've done to serve Britain. Yeah, go on, Charlotte, I'll start with you if you don't mind. What do you think about this? When you see the state of Britain today, do you think that maybe we've let some of our veterans down?
Well, what were they fighting for? Free speech? How's our free speech doing? I don't know, if you ask Lucy Connolly, you'd think not too good. And the other thing I do worry about is who would actually fight if there was World War III and we all, called up? Actually, who would fight? So young Generation Z or whatever they all are, they'll all be there on their computer games and sort of running away and hiding and, sort of complaining that their human rights were being... And, and is there enough nationalism in this country in some places?
We've been told nationalism's a dirty word, haven't we?
I know, not really allowed to say it, but it is really important when you're fighting a world war. I hate to tell you.
Stop being so far right.
I don't think anyone's ever called Charlotte far right before.
By the way, I think that you raise a really good point about the sort of the generation that we have nowadays who would be fighting. I mean, could you imagine if we were under attack, we would be toast. Men, defend those trenches. Well, actually, I don't identify as a man. I'm sorry. OK, sorry, girls, go defend... Well, actually, I'm non-binary. Sorry. I mean, like, other countries have built up weaponry, we've built up pronouns. So I just...
But enough about Nicola Sturgeon. But yeah,
I don't know whether that's an insult to pronouns or Nicola Sturgeon. So I think that we have so much self-indulgent narcissism now among all of us, but especially younger people, that I'm not sure that they would see the bigger picture.
See, what do you think, Steve? Do you think we've let those people down, those brave people?
I think it's paying a disservice to think that way. There's so much to love about the country, even though you can there's a list of things we don't like. All the things we would have lost without their sacrifice and effort, then you'd be moaning. We'd all, if we'd all be speaking German, as if we'd all learn a second language, but that's not likely. But theoretically, we would have done it. Well, there's so many of those things that it's very easy to overlook the great things of this nation. It doesn't matter where you sit on the political spectrum, you can find things you like about this nation, and you should be proud of it, because the lack of nationalism that you talk about is because we sit around moaning all the time rather than finding the good things and saying, do you know what, it's a pretty darn good nation, this.
I think our friend there made quite a good point, though, which is that, we obviously went out into the world and tried to defend ourselves and stopped an invasion at times and all of that stuff, whereas now, you're seeing what can look a lot like an invasion going on in the English Channel sometimes.
I think the good news for Gen Zers is drone technology means warfare is changed, so we do need a few drone pilots to be whizzy on the thing.
Do drones have pronouns?
They might do, yeah. I'd like them to go and pop boats. I'm pretty sure you could have a drone with a device to puncture ribs. But I think the challenge Britain has, we are a different country, but what we seem to lack is a shared identity. And it's not about being white and Anglo-Saxon. It's about Wolverhampton, where I'm from. We've had Sikh community there since the 60s, West Indian community, but everybody feels Wolfrenian, everybody feels British. But I think some cultures aren't feeling part of being British, and we need that common... America does it by swearing allegiance to the flag. Yes. They all, school kids have that pride of nationality. And I think we need that.
No.
Sorry to interrupt.
Well, no, but you're
We're not
right.
even allowed to have a flag. And the Americans, everywhere you go in America, everyone's got a flag. It's flags
and it forges their Americanness. It's good. It's positive.
I'm sorry about this. We're going to have to... You should have put your hand up a little bit earlier, I'm afraid. But we're going to have to go to a break. But, yeah, we're going to talk about the flag issue a bit later on, because you are allowed some flags, as long as it happens to be the flag of Palestine or, in the case of Birmingham, Pakistan. Just not ours. But there you are. But, talking of uniting Britain, it's the Great British Giveaway, and it's your chance. Your chance to live mortgage or rent-free, plus a bit of cash on top. Here's how you can be in it to win it.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure, because why not? And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you. We'll give you £15,000 tax-free cash instead. What are you waiting for? Lines will close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom with Andrew and Beth.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christys here.
I'm Michelle G. Britain's News Channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk
No,
now?
that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I ever got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record, you say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my live studio audience. And in Surrey, anyone from Surrey in, by the way? No, no one from... Yeah, yes, right, you are from Surrey. Good, OK. Well, the reason I asked, I'd like you to have the microphone in a second, because female police officers have gone undercover as joggers to try to catch catcallers. They're basically being used as bait for white van men. PC Abby Hayward says that the behaviour leaves her feeling icky and ruins her runs. So they've decided to go out jogging, and if anyone catcalls them, there's a police car around the corner. The problem is, it's not a crime. It's not actually a crime. So you're from Surrey. How do you feel about your... Have you got the microphone? Yeah? How do you feel about your police force's resources being used on catcalling? Maybe you think it's a good idea?
You know what? I think the police forces where I live in Englefield Green, has been really good to us.
Brilliant.
So I have no complaint about it.
You're not complaining. Good. Well, fair enough then. If they've got the time for you, I think a lot of people were thinking that obviously with burglaries and everything going through the roof that maybe they could do that. I don't know. I feel like I should start with the ladies on the panel. Have you been catcalled?
Well, I have been catcalled, but when I was pregnant with my first child, heavily pregnant, there was this building site I used to walk past every day, and they stopped catcalling me. And when I looked like a massive whale, I got a bit offended. I couldn't believe it. I'm doing a discredit to feminism here, but, like... Come on, what's going on? Are you saying I'm fat?
Oh, well, there you go. That's part of it.
Well, it's been some time, I think, Patrick.
No.
But it is... I certainly think the police have better things to do, and it's, if it is not illegal, which it isn't, then just giving someone a rap on the knuckle, you know, even doing speeding, which is an offence, but to do something out of a non-offence, it just feels a little bit... I think it doesn't happen nearly as often as it used to. I think times have changed.
I was actually looking at their actual conviction rate for things like serious sexual assault is like 6% in Surrey. So, I don't know, it just feels a bit... like going out and sending some women out in Lycra to go and stop a bloke driving his van. It just seems a little bit pointless, really, when you've got like this stuff going on.
It feels like they could have found a more efficient way of doing it, like, because the women went on a 5K run. If that run ended in a shop with some shoplifting, that would have been nice. At least you would have had someone turn up to investigate the crime. Exactly, you know, two birds, one stone, not that I'm calling them birds. I do think... I mean, like, I go running quite a lot, a couple of, 3 times a week I do it, and I'm sick of getting treated like a piece of meat. All the catcalling...
Have you ever been catcalled by women?
No, I've never. Well, I don't know. It depends. If Cheer Up Fatty, are they negging me because they find me attractive? I think they are. I think that's what's happening there. But yeah, you're right, because it's not a crime. You can have, look, I'm not saying it's good. It's a bad thing. But there are... If we listed all the crimes in priority order, we should probably start at the top of that list.
You're going to have about 35 seconds.
OK, I am desperate to be catcalled.
Aww.
Frankie.
Yeah! Yay! Do it again. Do it again. He loves it.
Thank you, madam. I support them doing this. We can't have it both ways, because we talk a lot about how, especially when it comes to migrants, actually, that they don't have much respect when it comes to women, some migrants, and actually now we're complaining when a police force appears to be trying to stop catcalling and harassment in the street. So actually, I think they're doing a good thing.
OK. All right, well, a range of views. Surrey Police have been on.
There you go.
They said that no arrest has specifically been made as a result. It's not even...
because it's not illegal. But it's not illegal. They can't arrest them.
It's a waste of police time. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, look, stay tuned, because we've got the latest from Alaska, where President Trump and Vladimir Putin have been... Oh, gosh, we're still in that empty room. There we go. Look at that.
No, it's not empty.
Hang on a minute. Is there a man there doing a white...
He's holding a sign up.
Well, he's hiding. Well, we'll see. That means something might be about to happen. We'll bring it to you. We'll bring it to you in a few seconds' time. Stay tuned, everybody.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello again and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. We do have a lot of cloud across the eastern parts of the UK. That's going to spread further west during the next 24 hours. Mostly clear, though, to the far west and staying warm, whether you've got the cloud or the clear spells. We've got high pressure sitting to the northwest of the UK, and with the winds coming in around the top of that high and then running down the North Sea across eastern parts of the UK, we're going to see a lot of North Sea low cloud creep westwards overnight after dark, and that low cloud becoming extensive. A few spots of light rain and drizzle for parts of Scotland, northeast England associated with that low cloud. Clear skies to the west and southwest, 16, 17 Celsius overnight, relatively warm, but similar to recent nights, effectively. And then we wake up Saturday with, well, a real divide across the country. Plenty of sunshine for West and South Wales. The southwest of England seeing sunshine as well, although some parts seeing cloud arrive into the south. Extensive cloud across the rest of England and Wales, away from the northwest of England. Northern Ireland, mixed conditions, a lot of sunshine but some patchy cloud. And then this divide across Scotland with extensive low cloud through the central belt, across some of the higher parts of eastern Scotland, sunshine elsewhere. And where we've got the cloud to start things, it's going to take some time to clear. It will want to try and lift and break as the sun warms things up, but I think it will take until early or even mid-afternoon for many places to brighten up. It's going to be a slow process. That will leave temperatures mostly around the mid to high 20s, where we get the sunniest skies towards the southwest. That's where we'll get the highest temperatures. Sunday's a different beast. I think we're going to start off with less low cloud. That means quite quickly from the word go, temperatures will be rising. Plenty of sunshine, but a cooler airflow at the same time. And so as we go through Monday and Tuesday, temperatures will progressively drop away. Still warm where we get some sunshine and still mostly dry.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
There's just 3 weeks to see how you can win your mortgage or rent paid for a whole year. That's a cash lump sum equivalent to 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to a whopping £20,000. Plus, we'll add an extra £5,000 on top for good measure. Make sure you don't miss out as lines close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes and Kerr weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
To see you. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. Great to see you. All right, well, what a night for it. There's a huge amount on, of course. Hello to my live studio audience. Thank you to go so much effort to come here. Here's what we've got on right now. So, we've got this historic moment, haven't we, when two of the world's most powerful men met last 2 hours ago. That was the big handshake that's taken place. Then, of course, right now, they are apparently locked in a room, although we do have some footage, which I'll show you in a second, of a B-2 bomber flying over President Putin, him seeming a bit perplexed by it. But I think everyone will be wondering how it's going to go. Trump did allude to it on Air Force One.
I want the killing to stop. I'm in this to stop the killing. You know, we're not putting up any money. We're making money. They're buying our weapons, and we're sending them to NATO, and NATO's sending us big, beautiful checks.
There's also live shots of a podium where it would appear that those two leaders are going to be speaking from relatively soon. I don't want to kind of overpromise, but they are getting ready for it. So they appear to me to be, anyway, a couple of the interpreters maybe that are there. And before, we saw someone doing what's called a white balance check, which people in TV will know about. You hold something white up to the camera like that so the cameras can all adjust their lenses. They did that before, which again would suggest that maybe they're expecting to get something from there relatively soon. We'll take it live when we get it. But also tonight,
they are disgusting, nasty bastards, and we need to cut their throats and get rid of them all.
Look, it was out of character. You know, it was out of character, and he's neurodiverse, isn't he? So he's not guilty. Anyway, suspended Labour councillor Ricky Jones walks free. Lucy Connolly still languishing in jail. Also, look, it's all right to turn parts of Manchester, Birmingham and London into little mini districts of Pakistan. However, we are not allowed to fly the Union Jack or the St George's flag around Birmingham. Bizarre, isn't it? Also, well, for the latest instalment of Every Flipping Day, it's now emerged that there's an Afghan man who told people how to kill their wives, and he's made his way to Britain, and he's living in a migrant hotel. We've not deported him yet, so that's good. On my panel tonight, we've got the editor-at-large at the Mail on Sunday, it's Charlotte Griffiths. We've got broadcasting royalty, Christo Fufas. The former Conservative MP, Jane Stevenson. And GB News contributor, comedian Steve and Allen. There you go. Is anyone missing Barry Gardner tonight? No, OK, all right. Get ready, Britain, here we go. Well, get ready for my take on the suspended Labour councillor Ricky Jones being found not guilty. Next.
Patrick, thank you very much. The top stories. Well, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are holding high-stake talks in Alaska on the war in Ukraine. The leaders originally expected to meet one-on-one. They will be joined by senior US and also Russian officials. The Kremlin said earlier today that they expect these talks between President Trump and Putin could last a minimum of 6 to 7 hours. Well, the US and Russian presidents exchanged a warm greeting earlier today, including 2 handshakes before travelling together in Mr. Trump's limo to the summit. Donald Trump spoke from Air Force One shortly before landing.
I want the killing to stop. I'm in this to stop the killing. You know, we're not putting up any money. We're making money. They're buying our weapons, and we're sending them to NATO, and NATO's sending us big, beautiful checks. But that I don't care about that. I care about it was a big factor when Biden spent $350 billion and got nothing. But what I do care about is they lost last week 7,011 people. Were lost, almost all soldiers. 36 people in a town which got hit by a missile, but over 7,000 soldiers. It's crazy.
A woman has been remanded in custody after being charged with assaulting a security guard at a hotel housing migrants. The court heard how 22-year-old Shanae Augustus was part of a group of around 20 people who tried to barge into the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf on Wednesday evening. The incident took place after a resident of the hotel allegedly walked into her mother's flat. The court heard how Miss Augustus returned to the hotel with a meat cleaver after the confrontation. The migrant, who's in his early 20s, has also been arrested on suspicion of assault. A suspended Labour councillor who called for protesters' throats to be cut at a rally has been found not guilty of encouraging violent disorder. Ricky Jones faced trial after he described demonstrators as disgusting Nazi fascists at an anti-racism protest in East London last August following the Southport murders. Mr Jones, a borough councillor in Dartford and Kent since 2019, was warned by the Labour Party to stay away from the protest and was suspended a day after the incident. And the King and Queen joined World War II veterans earlier today for a special memorial service on the 80th anniversary of VJ Day. King Charles and Queen Camilla, along with the Prime Minister, laid wreaths at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire to pay their respects to those who served in the Far East and Pacific during the conflict. Veterans of the conflict aged 96 to 105 joined the royal family at the site as guests of honour. VJ Day is marked each year on the 15th of August, the date in 1945 when Japan surrendered to the Allied forces and World War II ended. Those are the latest headlines. For now, more in an hour.
Tune into GB News Radio wherever you are. Online, on DAB digital radio, on TuneIn, on Radio Player and on your smart speaker. Just say, play GB News.
Very good evening, everybody. Thank you very much to everyone who's come to make this is the busiest it's ever been, actually. We've got people right at the back, so you love to see it. But we start with this historic meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. They are holding talks together right now. We haven't heard any leaks. This was earlier. It's not right now. Don't panic. This was earlier on, pursuing peace. There's quite a funny clip we'll play to you later, actually, of the US press just screaming over each other, and Vladimir Putin's looking like he's not seen anything like it. I mean, I just do wonder if some of those really hysterical people in the US press do themselves any favours there, really. Putin must be wondering what on earth he's walked into. But GB News viewers are looking at those pictures from a little while earlier. There are also some pro-Ukraine protesters in Anchorage. I think we can show you some of the clips. There we are. Yeah, so what was quite funny as well was that they weren't just pro-Ukraine protesters, they were anti-Trump protesters, which is brilliant, really, isn't it, considering the other bloke there is Putin. So, like, you're there protesting against Trump, but not... It doesn't seem like they were protesting that much against Putin, but there we are. Right, OK, so yes, there was also quite a funny shot of... when Putin got off the plane and went and greeted President Trump, yeah, there's always a little bit of theatrics, isn't there? But President Trump did what I think many people regard as being a bit of a power play here, and a B-2 bomber flew overhead. Look, you see it there? So just as Putin's walking out, the B-2 bomber comes over the top of him. And if we once that's done, is there any chance to... Yeah, can we play it again? Sorry about this, guys. Can we play it again? Because look right at the start of it. Look at the start of the clip where Putin's head just comes up. He obviously hears something and he's like, what the heck is that? And then the B-2 bomber comes over. Yeah, fantastic. It's just like... it's a good way of freaking him out. A bit of a power move there, I thought. But we've got the Labour Defence Secretary, who, you know, now is totally irrelevant, isn't he? Keir Starmer's irrelevant. All he does is just hug Volodymyr Zelensky a lot, and that's it. And so, but John Healey decided to do the media rounds earlier and just used it, not content with saying that Nigel Farage is on the side of paedophiles and Jimmy Savile, he's also in bed with Putin.
Nigel Farage has written to the PM to ask him to appoint members of Reform UK to the House of Lords. Now, he's got a point, doesn't he, given that 4.1 million people voted for them in 2024 and their position in the polls?
Look, I'm not sure that Parliament's going to benefit from more Putin apologists like Nigel Farage, to be honest.
Oh, that's quite strong, isn't it, to call him a Putin apologist?
Oh, look at what he said about Russia. Look at what he said about Putin in the past. Look what he said in the middle of the general election campaign.
Well, there you go. I suppose at least Vladimir Putin might know who Nigel Farage is. Not sure he's ever heard of John Healey, but anyway. So we're going to whiz ourselves on with stuff that's happening closer to home, though. For me, this was really the big domestic story of the day. We remember this clip, don't we?
We've got children and women using those trains destroying the summer holidays. They are disgusting, nasty bastards, and we need to hold their throats and get rid of them all. me now. And free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Thank you. God bless you all.
Right, so you think, well, that's on film, isn't it? So could have been seen as being relatively cut and dry there, but that was Ricky Jones urging people to cut the throats of what he claimed were far-right fascists. He was a Labour councillor at the time. He was suspended shortly after that clip emerged. He was initially remanded in custody and then released on bail. He was charged with encouraging violent disorder, and then today, this happened.
News, of course. Yes, what a morning it's turning into, eh? We've just heard from Snaresborough Crown Court that Labour councillor Ricky Jones, 58, has been found not guilty of inciting violent disorder after making a throat-slitting gesture and saying that right-wingers should have their throats slit after the Southport murders last year. He's been found not guilty by a jury at Crown Court.
Yeah, well, there you go, not guilty. Apparently it was out of character for him. But what's important here is not the fact that maybe necessarily he was found not guilty. It is also the fact that he pleaded not guilty, which is really why there was a jury trial. And that's the key bit for me, because he got legal advice. And his legal advice was obviously, plead not guilty. We think we can beat this if it goes to a jury. Lucy Connolly did not get that advice, did she? In fact, she pled guilty to the offence of distributing material with the intention of stirring up racial hatred. Let's remind ourselves what she posted. We're going to have to blur out certain words here, but mass deportation now, set fire to all the effing hotels full of the bees, for all I care. If that makes me racist, then so be it. Now, look, hey, obviously, I'm not defending what she said. Yeah, it's pretty rogue, really, to say stuff like that. However, she deleted that post and then apologised very quickly. She's currently serving 31 months behind bars, while Ricky Jones is tonight a free man after doing an actual throat-slitting gesture and apparently urging people to cut people's throats on film. And, you know, why did she and dozens of other people who were prosecuted, some for really, really minor offences, plead guilty? Was it that there's a left-wing legal profession giving them really bad advice? More on that, by the way. We found out a bit of information about the judge in that Ricky Jones case. Could it be that they were threatened, really, with huge prison sentences? They were sat down and they were told, look, if you plead not guilty here and you get found guilty, you're looking at 10 years behind bars. And these people had never come into contact with the law before, so they thought, I'll tell you what, I'll take 2.5 years. Could some of that pressure, though, have come from this man?
For 400 people now have been arrested, 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity, and a number of them are already in court. And I'm now expecting substantive sentencing before the end of this week. That should send a very powerful message to anybody involved, either directly or online.
Well, I am convinced that if more people prosecuted for social media posts had been told to plead not guilty, they would have been found not guilty by a jury, like this man.
And I warned that this type of thing was going to start happening. We, as a community, should not let any of these type people into our valley, OK? We shouldn't let any of these migrants who've just come into the country, OK, settle you in the valleys.
That man is a veteran, by the way, was prosecuted after he claims a local Labour councillor reported him to the police for saying that we should basically get illegal migrants out of Wales. It took a jury 17 minutes to find him not guilty. That was it. 17 minutes, a jury of his peers went, this is nuts, get him out of here. So, we have serious questions now about the potential left-wing bias in our legal profession, the impact that political pressure has had on people like Lucy Connolly, but the pressure really now is on Labour. Will they reinstate Ricky Jones as a Labour councillor, or will they expel him? And in the last few moments, we just found something out that's quite interesting. Now, I will stress this was a jury trial, so we can't sit here and claim that the judge in question has had maybe an impact on the verdict. However, Judge Rosa Dean is also a diversity and community relations judge. So it's just stuff like that, isn't it? A role that involves promoting diversity and community engagement in the judicial system. And it's people like this, isn't it, that are just right the way through our legal profession. Let's get the views of our panel this evening. I mean, look, do you think that there's maybe some kind of issue here, Jane, when it comes to, you know, people being given terrible advice? Lucy Connolly's in prison, Ricky Jones pled not guilty, he's out and about.
I think hindsight is a really useful thing, but sadly for Lucy Connolly, that was the advice she was given at the time. But I think what makes me and many people really angry about this case is Ricky Jones. It's the status difference. Ricky Jones was an elected person of influence in that community. He had people listening who thought, yes, this is a man who knows what he's talking about, we respect him. Lucy Connolly was an anonymous mum on Twitter with, I think, very few followers when she was upset about the most heinous crime being committed. She was angry and she did a stupid thing and then took it down of her own choosing without being spoken to by the police. Surely at some point there could have been an opportunity for the case to have been reviewed and to be heard by a jury. But, you know, it's tragic, awful.
The implication, the hidden implication, whether this is true or not, but the hidden implication, Christo, would be that if you were, quote-unquote, right-wing, you were urged to plead guilty and you were going to be banged up. But if you were, in the case of Ricky Jones at the time, a Labour councillor, your legal advice would be plead not guilty, go to a jury and you'll walk.
And part of the reason I think that people on the right who had made mistakes and were wrong, incidentally, were given that advice was because the Prime Minister actually came out and called everyone who had been protesting far right. Now, bearing in mind that they were subject to charges at that point, how is that not prejudicing the trial? So, of course, their legal counsel will say, right, well, you've now been branded far right. The Prime Minister has said that, you know, you're all going to be come down on like a ton of bricks. So it is best that you plead guilty to try and mitigate any punishment you get. And I think, by the way, you're absolutely right, that when you are a counsellor, it's like when a police officer commits a crime. There is a higher threshold than when you are a civilian. So I think, I just, okay, you know, he's been found not guilty, but the quote is, talking about people protesting, they are disgusting Nazi fascists. We need to cut all their throats and get rid of them all, whilst running a finger across his throat. And you look at that and you think, well, of course you think not guilty, don't you? I mean, not guilty. Of course you read that, you think not guilty.
But no elected official should ever use that sort of language. Full stop.
A lot of people are going to be asking, how is Lucy Connolly in prison?
That's the point.
Her doing something wrong, and someone who arguably does something far more wrong on camera, who is an elected official, is not guilty.
Look, all for free speech and the right to offend. I probably offend a lot of people every single evening. I might have even offended some people in this room tonight, so apologies about that. However, you know, all for free speech. For me, it's not a case of, like, you know, well, OK, maybe I didn't agree with what he said, maybe he should have been allowed to say it. And he has been allowed to say it, because there's been no consequences for it. But that means that Lucy Connolly should also have been allowed to say what she said, and then she shouldn't be in prison as well. That would be my view. But there is a gentleman on the front row who would like to make a point, I believe. Is that all right? Yeah? Go on. What would you like to say?
First of all, I'd just like to say, how can a jury of 12 people see the evidence and not convict him? Somebody's been nobbled, in my opinion.
Well,
maybe Starmer's had an influence.
I don't think that. We can say we can't.
There's something seriously wrong, because there is the evidence. He should have been convicted. I said all along he'll get off, because he's the Labour councillor and he's coloured. He'll get off.
OK, all right. Well, look, there's some strong stuff there people might disagree with, but there we go. I mean, Steve, when you look at this, do you think now really maybe need to just look at, you know, have a little look at what Labour do from now on? You know, should this guy be reinstated? Should he be expelled from the party? What do you think?
I don't think there's a chance he'll be reinstated because of the toxic nature of this story. And look how much it's upset people. And when they come for you legally, remember to plead not guilty, because that's the key here. Otherwise, you're going down. That's the problem. That's the annoying thing. And sorry to be the guy that ruins all the fun. The two-tier system we're talking about now is that one tier is pleading not guilty and the other one is pleading guilty. So much of the problem of this is that Lucy pled guilty, and that's it. The ball starts rolling. That's where the error is. Whether we can actually work out if the legal system are doing this deliberately because of some left-right bias, whether it's because we had such a backlog in the courts, they were probably just trying to just plead guilty, come on, get through it nice and quickly.
But she wasn't granted bail either, and I think that's why she didn't get solid advice, which he was granted bail.
Oh, yeah, and the court cases, there's so much after the time that, you know, he's had plenty of time to redo his homework and come up with a good case. But that's what it comes down to. Sadly, it's not about this. It's don't plead guilty when this stuff happens.
Well, yeah, there's pressure, though, isn't it? It's about a lot of getting a lot of pressure, and there we are. Charlotte, I just want to focus a little bit more, on, I suppose, on what Labour do now, because he is, I'm assuming, well, he's suspended, isn't he? But he's been found not guilty, and I stress that very much. Whatever some people's views on it might be, can't dispute that he's been found not guilty by a jury of his peers. It's the same judicial system that we would all go through if we were in that position. He's been found not guilty. But should Labour now, you know, keep him as a member, as a Labour councillor, or not?
Well, I obviously think definitely not, but can they expel him, given, as you say, he's been found not guilty? I mean, if they expel him, they're punishing him for something the courts didn't punish him for. So I think they'll probably let him slide away, or, you know, they'll try and bury it somehow, because that's what Keir Starmer does.
They could punish him for something the courts found him not guilty for, because it's a different standard, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's true. And do you know what really shocked me in that clip, and continues to shock me, is the woman in the orange high-vis jacket
cheering him on.
Yeah. And it's just like, how did he not realise what a position of authority he was in that crowd, and a larger scale as well? Because people were hanging off his every word.
If an MP said it, there is the recall process. You know, if enough constituents sign a petition, you have a by-election. There's not the same thing for councillors, and maybe there should be. We've had a stolen valour councillor in Wolverhampton. People are furious, but there's no mechanism to force a by-election or force someone to step down.
He may well be hoisted by his own petard, though, because, of course, he pleaded that it was his neurodiversity that meant that he said this. Well, if I was Labour, I would be thinking, well, I'm afraid then that you can't control what you say. I mean, this was his literal defence.
I mean, the thing is the cases like this, unfortunately, are probably going to keep happening, because tensions are running incredibly high, emotions are running very high. We're seeing it all the time now with protests outside asylum hotels and various cases that keep emerging and all of that, and you just think, OK, all right, you know, are we not going to end up with people being arrested and charged with very similar things going forward? Are they all going to get the same outcome? It can make a little bit of a mockery of our judicial system, potentially. But anyway, there you go. I will emphasise a couple of things. Ricky Jones is very much not guilty. He's a free man tonight. He was tried by a jury, he pleaded not guilty, found not guilty. And also, just a quick apology if anyone was offended by any of the language that you might have heard there. It's very much a live TV show, and sometimes, unfortunately, those things do happen. But Labour sources have told GBNews councillor Ricky Jones was administratively suspended from the Labour Party, and this remains the case. The investigation is ongoing. The Labour whip was automatically removed when he was suspended, and he will not sit as a Labour councillor. And we've also got something here from another Labour spokesperson who said at the time of his suspension, this behaviour is completely unacceptable and it will not be tolerated. The councillor has been suspended from the party. So we watch this space. Loads more coming your way. Any updates, of course, as we get them from Putin and Trump. And, yeah, we're also going to be talking about a slightly bizarre case about a man who's in an asylum hotel at the moment. He's an Afghan man. It's gone viral on TikTok for various different videos, one of which has been telling people how they can kill their estranged wives. So maybe that's a gentleman we could get rid of some point soon. But before that, it is, of course, the Great British Giveaway, and it's your chance to win, well, live mortgage or rent-free, apparently, plus £5 in cash. And here's all the details that you need.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure, because why not? And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you. We'll give you £15,000 tax-free cash instead. What are you waiting for? Lines will close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15, PO Box 8690, Derby, DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
OK, well, good luck, everybody. Has anyone entered the Great British Giveaway? Yes. Yes. Right, OK, good. Well, hopefully you win. Hopefully you win. Anyway, but in a few minutes' time, we are going to talk about the Labour-run council that celebrated Pakistan Independence Day this week, but has been pulling down the flag of St George. What's going on there? Stay tuned.
the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Cleethorpes has a rich military history. Today, 200,000 people are going to be turning up, and all around there are the celebrations of those veterans and those current serving military personnel. Now, we're here with the guys from HMS Antrim. Let's go and have a chat to a few of them. Nigel Smith, we'll come to you first. Hi. Now, you've got this beautiful bench which has been you've done and commissioned. Tell us about HMS Antrim and that story, because I don't think it's something actually a lot of people probably know.
So HMS Antrim was in the Falklands War in 1982. We were a bunch of young lads, 17 years old, going to war. No idea what was happening, when it was happening. We're just told we're going down south and we're going to war with the Argentinians. To be honest, half of them thought we was going up north to Scotland. So you imagine it's been 17 years old, we're on a warship, join the Navy, see the world, and suddenly we're all going to war at 17-year-old. And we're all, well, half a dozen of us here at the moment.
For you, what does Armed Forces Day mean for you? You've got your bench here, you know, you're celebrating here today. Is it about a celebration of the forces? What does it mean for you today?
For me, it's literally celebrating the brotherhood of the Antrim, plus recognising what the Armed Forces do. It's under-recognised, and the country doesn't really have an armed forces anymore. And this, they need to start thinking, we need the armed forces. Back in '82, we had best part of 100 warships. You don't have that anymore. So we had the camaraderie, we knew what we were doing. It's all computerised anymore now and stuff like that, but nobody knows what we did in '82, and that was a big thing for the Antrim. We were the first ship since World War II to sink a submarine for a start. We were the first ship down there, the last ship back, and we went back down there 2 months after we had a repair damage done. You know, and it is the camaraderie of the lads and the teamwork.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back, everybody. Great stuff. We're in live in studio audio show tonight. So, yeah, I know I keep saying this. I keep saying it because one time I'll say it and we will actually have an update for you. But President Trump and President Putin are locked in talks. What I was expecting was that we might have heard some little leaks come out of it, and we haven't. I don't know whether that's good or bad news. But, Christys, we haven't seen any white flashes and loud bangs. So I think maybe we're all right for now, aren't we? So there we go. But check out what happened a little bit earlier, though. This is something I think is Vladimir Putin was sitting down with President Trump, and the media started shouting at him, and he just didn't know what to make of it. Look at this.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, press. Let's go.
Can we do that? Sorry, can we do? I've not seen it in it sometimes. Can you just do the first bit? I get it. What on earth is he supposed to do about this?
Press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
I mean, it's just nuts, isn't it? I mean, what are they hoping to achieve? You know, the media are all there. You just tell them, just itching to tell him, you know, tell him what they really think of him, can't you? But anyway, well, here's a story that really made my blood boil when I was reading it this morning. It's a Labour-run council in Birmingham, and essentially they've been accused of tearing down St George's Cross and Union Jack flags from our streets, claiming that they are dangerous. But of course, very happy for people to fly the Palestinian flag from lampposts. Locals call it an attack on patriotism.
Patriotism. Former Tory leader Serene Duncan Smith has said that it was absolutely absurd as well. Lee Anderson has branded the council imbeciles. Not want to hold his tongue there, is he, our Lee? But it comes as residents rally behind what they call a peaceful show of pride. It was the same council, of course, that lit up, as you saw a little bit earlier on there, the library in the colours of the Pakistani flag, celebrate Pakistan Independence Day. They had huge celebrations for that. But, of course, they can do that and they still can't take your bins out. Oh, I mean, I'm trying not to be dramatic here, but the smell is absolutely overpowering, I'm afraid. There's flies everywhere. Yeah, it was grim, wasn't it, really? And some say that Birmingham's Labour leaders are showing their priorities loud and clear. If anyone's got a point they'd like to make on this, then get your hand up. I know we've got a couple of people from Birmingham, but I don't think they want to be on the telly, so that's go. Although I imagine your part of Birmingham's lovely, not like the road I was on there. But anyway, what do we make of this, Christo? Have they got their priorities all wrong? Happy Independence Day for Pakistan, but can't fly the St George's flag?
Well, firstly, you're naughty.
Why?
Because it's Union flag. It's only a Union Jack when it's on a boat.
OK, sorry.
That's
back to cruising.
Yes.
Christo's back.
That's why he knows.
That's how I know, exactly. Boat I've ever been on has that and a few other flags on there as well. It's ridiculous, because they've said, this is so stupid, right? It's almost exhausting. It is exhausting, because they've not said outright that it's because they don't like the flags. They've said it's because of safety, because the lampposts that the flags are flying on might fall over and hurt someone. I mean, like, there are many things that you're likely to be attacked by in Birmingham, and I don't think a flag is one of them. I mean, a stray bin liner, maybe, but not a flag. So it's difficult to think it's anything other than bias, but also... I mean, I'm just looking at pictures, and we just saw the men of all of these, like, just rubbish-strewn, disgusting streets. Why can't they have anyone that can collect the bins, but they can take down flags? It's just absurd. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, Jane, the optics of this, though. You've got, people... It wasn't just in Birmingham, by the way. I played some clips of my show last night at Wilmslow Road in Fallowfield in Manchester, which was just absolutely nuts. Pakistan Independence Day, not a police officer in sight, all of that stuff. But, yeah, when it comes to... It's VJ Day. It was St George's flag, sorry, you've got to take them down just in case it hurts.
Yeah, I think it's especially annoying for people because it's VJ Day anniversary, and I think they could have left it at least a week and then thought about it. But when I saw the library lit up like Vegas, I just thought, they can't afford the electricity. They are bankrupt twice over. They still haven't sorted the bin problem out. It is an absolute farce, and to burn electricity for the Pakistani flag in the library. The library's huge. They don't have the money to do it.
I think most people
apart from
want the
anything
bins
else.
got taken out. There's a gentleman here with the microphone, sir. Go on, what would you like to say?
Excuse me. I just totally agree with every point made. I think the point to make and the silver lining on all this is that there's enough patriotism left for people to put those flags up in the first place.
Yes.
Which is a point that's being missed. Where we live in Milton Keynes, down a large road, the A5, people have taken it upon themselves to put Union flags up and the St George's flag up. They've subsequently been taken down as well.
No.
Yeah, but who put them up or who took them down, I don't know. But the fact is, people around the country have this feeling that they want to put their patriotism on show. So I think there's some sort of silver lining to be taken from that.
Absolutely fantastic. Can I go stay with you, mate? Sorry, I'm going to put you on the spot now because it's really good. Can I ask you, why are you so patriotic about Britain? Is there anything that comes to mind for you that why do you love it?
I think probably part of culture, being brought up with a very patriotic family. I think going to school with very patriotic people around me. I work in a job now where we have a sense of pride and patriotism in what we do.
Yeah.
It's been instilled from me from a very early age. And like I said, I think I look for those examples where people are putting flags up. And you see a lot more Union flags up now and St George's flags than you ever have. So that to me says something, and that to me gives me a little bit of faith that sense is still alive.
Yeah, so good for you, mate. I like that. A bit of a pushback to this stuff that's happening now.
Yeah, that's such a hopeful thing to have said. I'm glad you said it. My big worry is that people like you are a dying breed. I genuinely worry about the next generation. I know the very young wokies, they feel it's offensive to see that flag. And I'm talking about, white British kids. It's not a cultural thing. It's actually a generational thing. Some of the young people think, they're afraid of it. They're actually afraid of it. That's how they've been indoctrinated at school and things like that. And I really hope there are more people like you, and that people can pass down from generation to generation pride in your country, don't be afraid of this flag. It's okay. It doesn't mean you're racist.
Yeah, exactly. Go on, Steve, I'll bring you in. I have, anecdotally, I've started to see more. There's someone on my road, I clocked it the other day, and I saw someone on my road just stuck a Union Jack in the window. I was just wondering if it's like this kind of like quiet fight back that people are doing now, you know. But what do you make of this stuff?
Well, I now know that you live on a ship, according to Christys.
Yes.
Baby Stockholm's been used. It's good to know, isn't it? No, look, that was a lovely answer. And where were you when we were talking about why this nation was worth saving? It's interesting. There are some people who would love the flag and yet moan about this nation all the time. With this story about what's happening in Birmingham, there are two ways of reading it. If we believe them that it's about health and safety, you can't attach something to a lamppost, all right, but then don't attach anything to lampposts.
Yeah.
But and it's kind of likely that it's just their excuse for taking them down. We also need to deal with the uncomfortable truth. There is nothing racist about loving your flag. And, uncomfortable truth, it's just been, for the last few decades, synonymous with racism. And we never should have let that happen. As a nation, we should have been using that flag all the time, like America, but maybe like 80% of it. Let's not go that far, you know, all the way to America and then back a bit, because we don't want to be too loud. But because we've left that gap of no one wanted to use a flag for fear of being criticised, that's why the young people are afraid of it. So you can't really blame the young people as much as you should blame everyone for the last 20 years for not using it.
I must say, we're going to have to move on in a second, but I did find it a little bit odd that there were so many people in this country who were desperate to celebrate Pakistan Independence Day, because they got independence, like, you know, from us, didn't they? And then they live here. I just thought I was a bit odd. But anyway, there you go. Enjoy the country, I suppose. Why not? Hey, but anyway, a spokesperson for Birmingham City Council said that it was not about removing specific flags, but about removing attachments. Yeah, we've done that anyway. You can believe that if you want. Anyway, an Afghan migrant who's been put up in a hotel at our expense has been... Well, he's been quite prolific on social media. I think we can play you a little clip of some of the stuff he said. OK, so, yes, I understand that most people on radio will not speak Pashtun. However, he was saying that, you know, a brave man will not allow his estranged wife to walk out. You should kill her, really. So that's probably not the kind of thing that we should be doing in this country. We'll talk about that very shortly next.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Temperatures easing a little bit in Spain and Portugal, but it's still going to be pretty hot for the next few days. Pretty humid in Italy with the threat of a few scattered, heavy, thundery showers. Dry and sunny in Spain and Portugal. As I said, though, temperatures just dropping a little bit here over the next few days. Could be quite breezy for Sicily and parts of northern Tunisia. A bit of a breeze blowing over the Greek islands as well, but plenty of sunshine likely here. Continued risk of a few showers for Italy and Croatia.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello again and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. We do have a lot of cloud across the eastern parts of the UK. That's going to spread further west during the next 24 hours. Mostly clear, though, to the far west and staying warm, whether you've got the cloud or the clear spells. We've got high pressure sitting to the northwest of the UK, and with the winds coming in around the top of that high and then running down the North Sea across eastern parts of the UK, we're going to see a lot of North Sea low cloud creep westwards overnight after dark, and that low cloud becoming extensive. A few spots of light rain and drizzle for parts of Scotland, northeast England associated with that low cloud. Clear skies to the west and southwest, 16, 17 Celsius overnight, relatively warm, but similar to recent nights, effectively. And then we wake up Saturday with, well, a real divide across the country. Plenty of sunshine for West and South Wales. The southwest of England seeing sunshine as well, although some parts seeing cloud arrive into the south. Extensive cloud across the rest of England and Wales, away from the northwest of England. Northern Ireland, mixed conditions, a lot of sunshine but some patchy cloud. And then this divide across Scotland with extensive low cloud through the central belt, across some of the higher parts of eastern Scotland, sunshine elsewhere. And where we've got the cloud to start things, it's going to take some time to clear. It will want to try and lift and break as the sun warms things up, but I think it will take until early or even mid-afternoon for many places to brighten up. It's going to be a slow process. That will leave temperatures mostly around the mid to high 20s, where we get the sunniest skies towards the southwest. That's where we'll get the highest temperatures. Sunday's a different beast. I think we're going to start off with less low cloud. That means quite quickly from the word go, temperatures will be rising. Plenty of sunshine, but a cooler airflow at the same time. And so as we go through Monday and Tuesday, temperatures will progressively drop away. Still warm where we get some sunshine and still mostly dry.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record, you say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Patrick Christys tonight, and yes, we will be getting you the latest from Trump-Putin. What were they going to be doing? They'll be carving up Europe, are they? How's it going to work? And there are some strong rumours going on behind the scenes that I might end up having to be here a little bit later than midnight because that's when we're expecting them to come out and actually say a load of stuff. So we'll wait and see about all of that. But I think we should whiz ourselves on, really, and get on with the topic in hand, because there is an Afghan migrant who's currently being housed in a UK asylum hotel, and he's facing calls to be deported after disturbing TikTok stuff surfaced. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name because I'll butcher it, but he's known online as Alexandra 420, and with 420, you know, if you know, you know, don't you? But he was filmed in Germany instructing followers on how to kill their wives to avoid harsh punishment. So, yeah, I think, have we got it? No? OK. The misogynistic video was posted weeks before he crossed the channel. He's now in a taxpayer-funded hotel. This is the kind of attitude of some of the people that we've got coming over here, really. Not really inherently British, I would have thought. What should we do about it? Surely we should just be deporting.
Well, firstly, no one tells Surrey police because they'll have an aneurysm about this. I mean, you know, this is way more than like a little bit of jogging, isn't it? I mean, I can't believe... There's so much I can't believe about this story. Firstly, how has this guy got 70,000 followers? Like, that is amazing.
That's a concern, isn't it?
It is a bit of a concern.
People have got to look at, I like that guy. I like what that guy says.
Well, actually, people did like it. So I don't know if you know about TikTok, but while you're watching a TikTok video, you can see live people reacting. What really disturbed me about this video is, as he was yabbering on about killing his wife, people were sending thumbs up, loads of hearts, loads of sort of hearts. Smiley faces, like, great, keep going, this is fascinating. And that's really worrying to me, that people were encouraging him live.
But look, I'm sorry, but, you know, men from Afghanistan, a lot of them do have these kind of views about women and about, you know, like, it's kind of like tribal stuff. And what do we expect? You know, when we see these people coming over, it's like, well, they don't just leave these views... Well, they don't, you know, kiss the turf at Dover, do they, Steve? And then all of a sudden those views have gone.
No, but what, in a sense, the system now should work thanks to TikTok, because now we know what he thinks. And in theory, when his case gets reviewed, they should be like, oh, there's all this information, and let's watch his TikTok. Not the dance video one. I'm sure he's done whatever on TikTok. I'm sure there's some sort of dance thing he does. But the wife killing bit should be an instant no. So the system should work.
What, like it did with Ricky Jones?
Yeah.
Well...
free speech.
Yeah. I mean, but just on this, if people in the truth, because at the moment we won't deport someone to Afghanistan because the Taliban run it now. Would you just deport people to Afghanistan? Yes. Right. Okay. I thought maybe so. Yes. Would anyone not? Would anyone or not? Does anyone think deporting someone to Afghanistan is beyond the pale? Right.
Okay. There could have been one person with a bad ex-wife.
Yeah. No, but this is the point, though. I do think, I know that some people will be like, oh, this isn't representative of British society. I look around the room this evening, I think it is actually quite representative of British society, to be perfectly honest with you. And I don't think that many people in Britain would have a problem deporting someone to Pakistan, to Afghanistan.
No, I think people with that sort of attitude, sadly, Jess Phillips does read out every year the women who are murdered by their former partners. It still happens in all cultures in the UK, but for someone like that to come and advise people how you do it, what to do, I don't know anyone that thinks he should be granted asylum. He's, you know, if it means deporting him to Afghanistan or to another country, which we would have had in Rwanda, but he shouldn't be in Britain. Full stop.
Yeah. I do. Go on.
The Germans do, don't they? The Germans do deport them, don't they?
Yeah. I wouldn't have an issue with sending him back, I'm afraid, because any system for asylum has to be mathematically possible, and under the current rules, we could have hundreds of thousands of people claiming asylum. Clearly, we need to rip the whole thing up and start again.
I think there's money to be made here. If anyone wants to get a pilot's licence quite quickly, I think you'd make a...
I thought you were going to suggest there's money to be made on TikTok. You know?
No. Yeah, that's what, you know, it's all gone wrong for me when you start seeing me on TikTok talking about ex-wives. Oh, he's really lost it now. He's really lost it now. Yeah, but we're going to move on because I want to leave a bit of time for Greatest Britain Union Jackass because we've got some great suggestions. It involves the audience. I want to hear from you. You get to pick who's the Greatest Britain and Union Jackass. We'll be covering that in just a couple of minutes' time. Stay tuned.
Wake up with a familiar face. She's back on breakfast television. Penny Smith returns.
Miss me? Well, I'm here, and I brought the coffee.
And we're reuniting to brighten your morning.
It's just like old times, only better.
So join Penny and me next Monday and Tuesday only on GB News Breakfast.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
But, all right, let's move on, shall we? Gentlemen, are you checking your engines at home? Some men know more about Formula One than signs of prostate cancer. A new survey reveals 27% of men could name more F1 drivers than what the symptoms were for prostate cancer. Well, I can now speak with specialist Professor Carol Sikora. Carol, thank you very much for joining me. Listen, this is quite a shocking statistic. And, you know, prostate cancer is a big killer of men, and it can be sometimes a silent killer. I guess what should we take away from this?
I think it's amazing. The article today in the Telegraph about it, that F1 is more commonly known about than prostate cancer. Quite frankly, a study 25 years ago in the British Medical Journal showed that 70% of men didn't know where the prostate gland was. Everybody over 70 is listening to this. About 65% of people over 70 actually have prostate cancer, but it won't cause them any trouble. And what we have to do is identify those cancers that are going to cause trouble, like Mr. Hoy's cancer, for example, that's causing him a lot of trouble. We need to look at young people with aggressive cancers and pick those up early. And that seems a reasonable campaign.
Yes, and what should we do, Professor? Because, I mean, many people point to the government that they need to do an awareness campaign or something like that. What can be done?
I think we could introduce PSA screening for those men that want to, and it's there. If you go to your GP and say you've read about it, you'd like to do a PSA test, it's very simple. You can do other blood tests at the same time.
GB News, the People's Channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Wow, good evening,
evening. Thank you so much to everyone who's come here, especially our furthest travelled from Ayr in Scotland. I've got some people from Portsmouth as well. Does anyone shout out whether from Wakefield or into some places? Brighton, yes, Brighton. Where was that? Cardiff, good stuff. What are they? Bexley, all right. That's enough. But thank you very much, everyone, anyway, for coming. It's always great to have so many people here in the studio. Yes, let's just go straight into Greatest Britain Union Jackass, because we haven't got any updates for you yet on what's going on in Alaska between arguably the two most powerful people in the world. So let's start with Charlotte. Your Greatest Britain this evening, please, Charlotte.
Mine is Yavar Abbas, who's 105. He was at VJ Day, and he was meant to sort of stick to the script in front of King Charles, but he broke away from the script and just said a really nice thing about suffering from cancer. To Charles, Camilla burst into tears. She was so touched by it. Yeah. It was very brave of him.
It was. We were actually due to play this clip earlier on in the show, and we didn't have time for it, so I don't know if people might be able to find it and dig it out, but ominous silence so far. So we'll wait and see. But yes, it was very powerful and moving, actually, really. Tell you what, when we get it, we'll play it. Go on, Christys, who's your Greatest Britain?
How do I follow the cancer clip?
Yeah.
OK, well, I'm going to go for... he has just been booked for Strictly. He's got a lot of stick online, but I really like him, and it's Tom Skinner, you know, the former...
Bosch.
Bosch, yes, Bosch. That's what you're supposed to say, right? Bosch. Why
says Bosch.
Bosch. Yeah. Bosch. It's not the same, mate.
It isn't the same, is it? So, yeah, because... And basically, there's been this absolute meltdown by people who think that you should boycott Strictly because, you know, he's
J.D. Vance's new Bezzy.
Yeah.
All right, so fair enough. So we're going for Bosch. Go on, here's your question.
Mine was, and I'm sort of deferring to Charlotte, though. I think hers is excellent. Mine was our World War II veterans. We've got so few left. There are only a couple of thousand World War II veterans left, but on VJ Day, that seems like a good...
Another strong contender. Go on there, Steve.
I'm going for a chap called Suki Athwal. He owns a shop in Kent, and after all of the stories of shoplifting, and my local Tesco now puts the jam behind those plastic things, it's like doing a Krypton factor. I just want jam.
Yeah.
And then the guy who called the thieves scumbags who got in trouble, this guy started naming and shaming shoplifters. He's put a poster of them, which obviously will then get nicked. But other than that, it's a really good idea.
Brilliant, I like that. There's currently a wanted poster in my local corner shop, but it's of a guy wearing a balaclava. All right, OK, so we're going to go for the gentleman who gave a message to the King and Queen. Anyone? No. OK, yeah. World War II veterans in their entirety.
Well, he's included as well.
The proactive shopkeeper. All right, OK, it's the gentleman there who gave the message to the King, so well done, that man. Have we got the clip? Yeah, here we go.
But before I read the excerpt, I make due apology for briefly going off the script to salute my brave king, who is here with his beloved queen, in spite of the fact that he's under treatment for cancer.
Oh, well, it's very moving.
It was lovely.
Oh, bless.
He should win. No, he should win.
OK, all right. You're going to set me off in a second now. Right, OK, well, let's lower the tone by rattling through Union Jackass. We've only got about 2 minutes, so go on then, Charlotte. Who's Union Jackass?
The antidote to Yavar is Jamie Rothwell from Salford, who is a cocaine kingpin, basically. But, of course, he's so vain because he's, like, sort of young. He took selfies of himself, shared them on a version of WhatsApp, which the police hacked, and he got himself busted because he couldn't resist the bathroom selfie. He was a cocaine lynchman.
Oh, that'll be the code,
Clever.
to be fair. Anyway, go on, Christys.
OK, has anyone here heard of Cycling Mikey?
Oh, yeah.
He's this, like, the vigilante Mike Van Earp, and this week he basically decided to try and stop a driver going through a no-entry sign with a child in the car, incidentally. Now, the driver was wrong by pushing his bike in front of the driver. We've got a clip of it, actually.
Cycling Mike, mate. Active, mate.
Get out, mate.
I think we've cut you off before. We cut it off before he...
500 ended up with a bike in front of it that hit the bike, and that was the way he tried to stop the driver. So I think that makes him a jackass.
OK, good stuff. Go on then, go on. Who's
Mine is Birmingham City Council. Just stop the woke stuff and empty the blooming bins.
I think we might have a winner. Go on, Steve.
I don't know, because I'm going for David Lammy, the well-known criminal, the fish rustler.
Yes.
For fishing without a rod licence, and in doing so, didn't even catch any fish. It's like being caught for doing Fort Knox and not having any gold at the end of it.
And lawbreakers can't be lawmakers, so he should probably resign.
Yeah.
That
according to Labour.
I just love that mass vote. Right, we're going to be quick here. So we're going for the cocaine kingpin. Oh, OK, fair enough. What about Cycling Mikey? We've got Birmingham City Council. Notorious fish rustler, David Lammy. Well, thank you very much to my wonderful panel. Thank you, everybody. It's been a wonderful audience.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello again and welcome to the latest update from the Met Office for GB News. We do have a lot of cloud across the eastern parts of the UK. That's going to spread further west during the next 24 hours. Mostly clear, though, to the far west and staying warm, whether you've got the cloud or the clear spells. We've got high pressure sitting to the northwest of the UK, and with the winds coming in around the top of that high and then running down the North Sea across eastern parts of the UK, we're going to see a lot of North Sea low cloud creep westwards overnight after dark, and that low cloud becoming extensive. A few spots of light rain and drizzle for parts of Scotland, northeast England associated with that low cloud. Clear skies to the west and southwest, 16, 17 Celsius overnight, relatively warm, but similar to recent nights, effectively. And then we wake up Saturday with, well, a real divide across the country. Plenty of sunshine for West and South Wales. The southwest of England seeing sunshine as well, although some parts seeing cloud arrive into the south. Extensive cloud across the rest of England and Wales, away from the northwest of England. Northern Ireland, mixed conditions, a lot of sunshine but some patchy cloud. And then this divide across Scotland with extensive low cloud through the central belt, across some of the higher parts of eastern Scotland, sunshine elsewhere. And where we've got the cloud to start things, it's going to take some time to clear. It will want to try and lift and break as the sun warms things up, but I think it will take until early or even mid-afternoon for many places to brighten up. It's going to be a slow process. That will leave temperatures mostly around the mid to high 20s, where we get the sunniest skies towards the southwest. That's where we'll get the highest temperatures. Sunday's a different beast. I think we're going to start off with less low cloud. That means quite quickly from the word go, temperatures will be rising. Plenty of sunshine, but a cooler airflow at the same time. And so as we go through Monday and Tuesday, temperatures will progressively drop away. Still warm where we get some sunshine and still mostly dry.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August.